I'm Ron Corbett. This is the Lemonade Car Show. Tonight we're talking hybrids and electrics, and as always, we'll be answering all your car-related questions. Lemonade is brought to you by OMVIC, that's Ontario's vehicle sales regulator, and we're produced by the Automobile Protection Association. The APA fights for you, the consumer, and provides information and news on all parts of the industry. Visit our website at apa.ca or reach us by phone at 416-204-1444. Joining us today is John Raymond, industry consultant and APA advisor, and Cara Clareman, president and CEO of Plug and Drive. We will also be taking your calls at 1-800-968-7836. Hello.
You're not Lorraine.
I'm not Lorraine. Yes, too bad for the audience, however. Thank you very much for coming. And
Cara's someone that I wanted to have on for some time. And we're really fortunate to have her here tonight, and she's going to really bring us up to date on this whole notion of alternate sources of energy in terms of your automobile.
And so as far as Plug and Drive, how did it start?
Well, first, thanks so much for having me on, Ron. Yeah, Plug and Drive is a not-for-profit, and we are essentially focused on accelerating adoption of electric cars, and we're looking to help advance those environmental and economic benefits we know that these cars can bring, not just to our province but to Canada and other countries. And so mainly we're focused on education of the public to help them understand why these cars are so beneficial and that actually a car that is electrified can fit into their life.
Okay, that's interesting. Now you have quite a few drive events that you sponsor.
That's right.
So how do you set those up, and how do they run?
So what we do is we have brought all the different automakers together who have an electric or a plug-in hybrid car, and we put them on display and we offer free test drives, and we do this in sort of a no pressure environment. So we set these up at various festivals, local community events, we have our own events, and we have events all over the province, and we have them in other provinces as well. And if you go to our website, pluganddrive.ca, you'll see a list of events where you can test drive not just one brand of car, but 4, 5, 6, sometimes 8 brands of electric car to see which one is most suited to you.
Yeah, Ron, recently they were up at Georgian College
at
for the auto show day,
yeah.
And actually I was there with my son the year before, and they put together a really nice presentation with qualified people that could explain the cars. Plus, they go actually out on the road test circuit with you, and they explain everything that is going on and the differences and the uniquenesses. They are also a charging station at Georgian.
The clicking and the whirring noises.
Right. And the no noises, it's so silent, noises, right? Yes. Electric cars are really a silent ride. And of course, I think one of the first barriers we try to address is well, people are unfamiliar with the technology, and they might have a preconceived idea that this is either not a good quality car or not kind of ready for highway driving, and not really understand that these cars are totally ready for prime time, and there's actually quite a variety of makes and models available. So that test drive really helps with that, and then when they get in and drive the car, they have a bit of an aha moment and say, wow, this is a great car. Maybe I could drive this car.
It's interesting to get exposure to those cars, because when people drive them, other than the fact that there's no traditional transmission or engine noise, they are quite normal.
They are totally normal, but actually one thing that people are often surprised by, they turn it on, is it on, right? Because they're not used to the silence. Yeah. And then the second big surprise is with when they first go to press the pedal, how great the torque is, right? So you instant torque in an electric car.
As soon as you push in, you're gone, right?
So you have really that instant pickup, and I think people think, wow, this is actually a good performance car.
And then the drag on the brakes.
Yeah, that's it. So you get that regenerative braking, which people also, but anyone who's driven a stick shift car, they tend to be familiar with that feeling. But people who have only ever driven an automatic car, sometimes that pull feeling of the regenerative braking is the surprise.
One of the questions we often get at the APA when people call either Ron or I or another one of the counselors is, I'm really confused. There's electrics, there's battery with an engine. So could you explain the 2 or 3 different kinds?
Well, there's really sort of three main types. So you've got your straight ICE, internal combustion engine,
Right.
that everybody knows about. And then, of course, you have the hybrid, which is the Prius being the best known one, but lots of other brands have a hybrid. And that actually you don't plug in, right? So that one is still in a regular gas car, but it has a battery pack, so it has just better fuel economy.
Right.
And then the next step is what we call a plug-in hybrid, which plugs in, so you get to plug in your battery, you get a big boost in fuel economy from the plug-in part. But then when the battery runs out, it switches to gas.
I was recently on the AJAC Eco Run, and I had the opportunity to drive a Sonata plug-in hybrid.
Oh, yeah,
and I
that's a
drove it
nice
from the Evergreen Brickworks to Oshawa.
Right.
And they charged it fully, and the gas fuel economy on the leg of that trip was 2.9 liters per 100
Right.
kilometers.
It's incredible.
Phenomenal for like
Incredible.
what's essentially a really big, roomy car. Right. Spectacular.
And typically these plug-in hybrids, they'll use up the battery pack and then seamlessly switch to gas. You don't have to do anything. It just switches over.
Yeah.
And you'll just hear the engine come
And
on.
will they be charging the batteries as they're on?
Some do and some don't. So you have a bit of variety. We call them all plug-in hybrids, but some they'll recharge the battery pack. Some you have to get to a plug to recharge the battery pack.
Yeah, I think some of them will just do it just once the battery pack for the pure electric bit is finished, then it just reverts to sort of a normal hybrid operation until you plug in again.
Some interesting, like some of the Ford plug-in hybrids, I believe the C-Max and the Fusion, you can actually choose to delay your use of electric if you want. So you can select to drive in gas first if you want, and
So
use the
if you're
battery
going
later.
from a further area and then you're going to urban. You would
and then you want to maximize, a way to maximize your battery
I think
use.
the Sonata had a very similar
so
system.
some have that and some don't.
And the
then,
Volt would be what, a
so
plug-in?
Volt, they call that a series, really a series hybrid, which is like an extended range vehicle. So it's all electric when you're driving it. It doesn't switch on and off electric like the feel of a Prius.
Right.
It's just all electric, and then when that's finished, it's actually driving the electric motor with the
gas engine becomes a generator.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. The Malibu hybrid works the same. It doesn't have the plug-in feature, but it generates the electricity on board and sends it to the wheels electrically.
And we both drove that last week.
We did,
independently.
yes, independently.
Well, the new Volt.
Malibu.
Oh, the Malibu.
yeah.
Well, the new Volt actually has quite a big boost in range over the previous Volt. You get about 80 kilometers now.
It was about 60 before.
Yeah.
Right? I remember the GM PR guy that we borrowed the Volt from in Montreal a few years ago. He said it'll go up to about 60K in pure electric, and it was weird. I was watching the odometer, and it clicked on 60, and then the generator came on. Right.
Right. So now you're going to get more. And so your total range is more as well. So lots of variety. And now you've got more and more makes and models coming out. I mean, we're up to something like 22 makes and models
sold
available in Canada right now, which I think surprises a lot of people.
And then the last category would be BEV.
Right. So we talk about plug-in hybrids. There is some variety in how they work, but more or less it's battery and then gas. And then you have the fully electric, which has no gas backup, so that's like your Leaf, your iMeave, 100% electric driving all the time, and so you need to get to a plug to recharge.
Yeah, on the AJAC Eco Run, they had a Focus. They had a Leaf, and then a Focus Total Electric.
Right, those are very similar vehicles.
How many road tests have you done?
We've done about 4,000 test drives so far.
People in the cars.
And actually, that's just the number of drives. Usually, they bring a passenger, so really, we've done quite a lot more. And we've exposed one-on-one more than 60,000 individuals to the electric cars. So we're really making progress, but we got a lot more to do.
And how do you, when you have the events, how do you get people to come? Or is it invitation only, or how do people find out about it?
These are typically public events. We do some corporate events. For example, we'll be invited to come do a lunch and learn for employees. Those are private events, but most of our events are public events. And typically what we do is we add on to an existing public event. So if there's a festival in Caledon, or there's an eco day in Vaughan, or you know, whatever, we do the Jazz and Blues Festival in New Brunswick, for example,
cool.
We'll attach onto an existing event, because then you don't have to create a crowd. The crowd is coming to you. We do have our own EV days, which we do about 4 times a year in different cities. We've done them in Hamilton, Guelph, Toronto, Kingston.
The Lemonade Car Show, brought to you by OMVIC, Ontario's motor vehicle sales regulator, returns after this short break. When we come back, we'll take your calls at 1-800-968-7836.